To stop judging yourself, first stop judging other people. So a little bit of context to this lesson. Throughout all middle school and all of high school, I was a loner. I had like basically no friends. I talked to nobody. So I'd spend all day just like in my own head. And the two things you'd really do all day is just you'd be nostalgic about the past and you daydream about like imaginary scenarios in the future. A thing about that though is like if you don't have any friends, a side effect of that is like everybody is neutral. So it's kind of like nobody's really like warm. So you're kind of just like on edge. Like you're like a low level of dread. Like it's like a 1 out of 10 anxiety all the time, like 24/7, to where you don't notice it, but it's like there. And like a thing about this experience while you were like a teenager in puberty was like on top of having like the 1 out of 10 like low level like anxiety all the time, it's like in puberty you kind of really want like respect and stuff, right? So that's like there's like 2 or 3 layers to this that I'll combine. So the first one is like that, just like in puberty, like as a guy, you kind of want respect and stuff, like or whatever you want to say it. If you spend a lot of time by yourself, what ends up happening is you unconsciously like take the desire of one thing and make it into another thing. So like you never really lose the desire for that. You just like put it into like a replacement. So for example, with friends, if you don't have like a close family relationship or close friends or anything, what ends up happening is you don't stop caring about people. You put that same desire into a different thing. So for me and for like what I think a lot of men would do it for is aura. Like you stop caring about having friends, like just like having people to talk about, but now you have like more of a desire of like aura. So like, I noticed like I'd be, without even trying, just like natural, my default state, I'd be like hyper aware. Like you know how you can like look at something and from like the corner of your eye you can kind of like notice other people and stuff. Like I'd notice like even if I thought it was kind of like eventually like later in the line, like at the end of high school, I thought it was kind of lame to just do that, like always be like super aware of other people, but like always all the time I'd be like really aware of aura. Like I'd be like, oh, is this person looking at me? Oh, is this like happening? And like I would act like more, I mean it's kind of cringe and it's like really cringe now to talk about it, but like it was natural to me. But I would just like act like really nonchalant and stuff. Like I'd not react to stuff and like I'd always be aware if someone's looking at me. Basically though, you replace the desire of love with something else. So like to fully give up on that is like you have to fully like be neutral of like every single thing. Like you cannot like start caring more about like aura and respect. You have to keep that like at the baseline of what it was before. So that's one layer to it, is you replace the need with love with the need of aura. And then the second thing is for men who are like in puberty, like middle school, high school, you're gonna have all these hormones and stuff. So now you're gonna care about respect. So that's like 2 layers. So now it's like this feeling of wanting aura and wanting respect is like really like skyrocketed in this situation. And what happens is if you really care about aura this much, then you're gonna be like really self-judgmental and you're gonna like always be hyper aware of every single thing. Like I remember, like I'd be sat in class all the time and like I'd literally like hold my breath. Like I think that does have to do with like the 1 out of 10 like low level anxiety all the time. But it basically be like you sit there and you're like really stiff. And I'd notice like for me it's my upper stomach. So I've had to like kind of force myself to learn. Like I'd have to like take manual breaths and like really force it. It's like an 8 out of 10. Like you really have to like push through and like really push through to break the upper stomach thing. But I'd notice in class all the time, it was like I'd sit there and like I just like feel like my whole body is tense and stuff, and then I realize like I'm not even breathing properly. Like the way I'm breathing, it's like my upper belly is stuck the whole time, and my lower belly is like barely moving up and down. And also another way you can see if you have this is like for me when I'm relaxing, I've noticed my hands are always clenched like this. Like every single time I'm doing anything, like even when I'm relaxing, like a lot of times I spend, so now the thing about me ever since I quit competitive gaming is I've spent like 3 hours a day looking at the sky. And when I'm in the balcony sitting on my chair, like it's like a long like beach type of chair on the balcony, so you can like sit like way back and stuff. And I've noticed like the way I sit, it's like my hands are always together and like clenched. Like I sit like this, or like I have my arms on my body. It's like it feels more comfortable to be like compressed inwards, but to fully relax, you have to like actively do this, and you have to actively like just like sit like this, like spread out. So yeah, I was like really stiff and really compressed all the time. And another thing, when you do respect maxing and like when you replace the need with love with the need of respect, it's like every single fluctuation, it feels like life or death. Like basically, since there's no base of like you are friends with this person, or like there's like a good relationship right there, it basically feels like respect is like everything. So every single fluctuation feels really intense. It's like a 7 out of 10, like every single time. It's like a jab in the stomach. Like every single time, like you, from the corner of your eye, like it feels really cringe to talk about like the specific things about it, but like in general, it's just like you can imagine like aura, whatever you think aura is. Like if you had aura, like you felt you had aura in that room for like for this guy or this guy, and like whatever fluctuation, like maybe like it changes one day at school or something. Like every single fluctuation, it feels like really intense and really like it changes your whole mood. And like I said before, the need of love is natural, and since you didn't really take it away, you replaced the need with love with the need of respect. So now respect went from like this thing that it's like before it was like you were 100 and respect means you're 105, but like if you caught the respect taken away, it was still 100. But now it's like since you replaced the need with love with the need of respect, like you never took the need away, you just put the need into something else. And the way you make it not into something else, like the way you fully take it away, is you have to like actively do it. Like you have to actively look at how you interact in social situations, and like actively you have to like take it out and like really just like be neutral about everything. Because by default, if you're a loner, and like I know a lot of people are like me, that like they just don't have friends and stuff, like if you're a loner, by default, like the default thing that your brain will go to is it will replace the need with that into something else. Like it will never just like fully go away, because like you're gonna feel no desire for friends, and that just means you have more of a desire in something else. So it can never fully go away unless you actively put in effort, and like really, like for every single aspect of like a social thing, you act like how you were before, like neutral. And you know, one time I saw this thing of like teens are actually expected to be hard on themselves. It's like a puberty thing. And one time when I was in my balcony just looking at the sky, just thinking about life, I had this realization that like what other people do, or no, what a person does to other people, they do to themselves. So like, you know, from like a movie or like an anime or something, you'd see like there's like a strict father who's like really strict and like who's really harsh on their child. I've actually realized like that father is like strict on themselves. Like they're like ignore your emotions, really do the hard work. I think that's actually pretty good, but just like for the context of this discussion, I'm just gonna be neutral about it. But like if you're strict on someone else, it means you do the same thing like internally by like a lot more. So that also means that must be true for like being judgmental on other people. Like if you're judgmental on other people, it means like you're more judgmental about yourself. And so I looked for other ways if like I was judgmental on other people in my own life, like once I realized how like that rule exists. And I saw that especially with my parents, I was like really judgmental. Like I feel like a lot of cringe from like the things I'd do. For example, there was this one time where I was in the car, they were like picking me up from school or something. We were going to like eye doctor, and basically my mom is learning how to drive, so she's like getting like a driver's license, and like they have to do all like the lessons and stuff. There's like an online course, and then there's like the real life exam. And basically we had all the doors open because it was like a really good weather outside and stuff, and my dad was like playing the guide video, and it just sounded like retarded. It was like they spoke in such like a fake like, oh, you're supposed to do this, can you guess what you do next. It was like that. It's like a thing for babies but like for adults. It sounded so embarrassing, and my dad had like all the windows open, so literally everybody on the street, bro, especially when the car stopped, like on the red light when the car stopped, I was like there, like all the windows were down. This like really stupid thing was playing. Oh, when you go left, are you supposed to do this or are you supposed to do this? I'll give you 5 seconds. Are you ready to guess? It was like this, and all the windows were down. And I was just like, oh my god, bro. Like I was like looking through the windows to see if anybody on the street was like really like cringing at this, and like I realized like I actually do cringe at other people, and I like judge them a lot. And that made me realize like what if I actively stop judging other people, would that make me judge myself less? Okay, so to actually do this thing, this is how you do it. So you don't want to like you don't want to force it to where like before every interaction you go into it like thinking in your head of the thing. You want it to actually be like effortless, and like you not trying, like it being like really gentle. Like the keyword is gentle. So the way you do it is you're not supposed to like actually get it right away. You're supposed to do it like after like all the work isn't while in the situation. it's like doing it after, when it's like when you failed and like you're being aware of it. It's like meditation. Like in meditation, it's like it's not the act of staying focused. It's like every time you stop being focused, you come back to it. It's that same principle of like after you made the mistake, you have the awareness and then you come back to it. So the work happens after you fail, and what you do is like you you realize what happened, and then like you think of why you need to do it. So basically what I realized for me is I always forget the specifics of the thing every time. Like for example, like the why of why you're trying to like not feel cringe of other people is so you can feel less cringe of yourself. Like there's like a why to it, and I can't remember all the small things right now, but basically combined with the one main reason, there's like 10 like small like you know how like when you want to start doing something, like for example, if you want to start going to the gym for the first time in your life, there's like 10 small reasons your brain makes of like an excuse, right? There's like that same thing. There's like 10 small things plus like the one big why. So every single time, like after you like fail and after you feel cringe of other people, you're supposed to like kind of overthinking max, and like for 5 minutes you just sit there and like you overthink about it, and like you do that thing, like you answer all the 10 small questions. Like the questions are so small that they're really easy to answer within like 2 seconds. Like you can find like a reason of like a cope and like counter it right away. You don't have to like really spend time thinking about it. And basically every single time you fail, you first realize that you failed, and then you do that thing, like the 10 small cope things plus the one big why of why you're doing this. And what I found, the way to like gently know to do this without having to put in effort, is you just have to overthink max like a lot of times about it over and over again. It takes like 5 minutes, and not like it's not true overthinking maxing where like you just sit there for like an hour and really think about something. It's like you just sit there for 5 minutes and like you redo the things that you've already done in the past. And the more times you do it like over and over and over again, like you keep going through that process of thinking over and over and over again, it's like there's gonna come a time where it's just there in your own brain and you don't have to try about it. Like you're gonna go into the situation, and like the keyword is like, remember, the keyword is gentle, right? So gentle without trying, it's gonna be in your head to not feel cringe at other people. So if you're going into a situation like in school, and like let's say somebody else like stutters and like presenting to the class or something, and like you'd feel secondhand embarrassment. Like imagine I was in that situation and I stuttered in front of the class, I'd feel like really embarrassed. Or like with my situation a lot with like with my parents or something, without trying, gently you're gonna remember to not feel cringe. And yeah, that's like the way in which you do it. And what happened to me after I did it, and what will happen to you as well when you do it, is this is like the exact thing that happened, right? So after I actively like gently stopped being cringe at other people, like every single time they did something, what I realized for myself is the voice is still there, right? Like there's like a specific line that your brain tells yourself when you feel cringe, like the specific voice and like the words are still there, but it almost goes from like 100% volume really down to like 30 or 20. Like it goes down a lot, and it's like the words are still there, but you don't care as much like at all. Like for some weird reason, like you fully just stop caring, and the volume goes down to like 20 or 30%. So that's what will happen to you if you do the method. And if you really like every single time it happens, you like every single time you fail and you feel judgment on someone else, you do that thing of like at the end, you overthink max for 5 minutes. Why are you doing this? And the 10-ish questions that like will happen, like the 10 copes of like whatever specific thing. I can't really like remember it, like it's like so specific, like it happens to your brain like so randomly, and you don't really remember what it is. Like I'm trying to remember some specific questions, but I just can't. But yeah, every single time if you overthink max, what's gonna happen, you gently remember, and that's the benefit that's gonna happen. Thank you for watching.